Okay, well, I've got it tacked together here. Let me turn the light on so you can see a little bit better. I tacked right down here and in that corner, and of course I used my TIG, and get around on this side. And let's see if I can get a good angle. Yeah, you can see I tacked the corner up in there. Let's see if I can sort of like that. And same on this side. Tacked inside that corner on the little angle iron. And then I put the big angles in position, and there's a couple of tacks there and a couple of tacks there. And then when I got down to this end, of course, instead of just, well, there's the tacks on the angle iron, the little angle iron, but instead of just being satisfied with tack it, since I was using the TIG, I got carried away and went ahead and welded those seams, which not half-assed bad, not perfect, but once again it holds. So there, it's all tacked together and ready for squirting some wire. Well, this is give you a glimpse of my first attempts at welding down inside there. I didn't do too bad right here or on this side. I did actually pretty good on those. Not that you can see them that clearly, and especially since I'm holding the camera upside down. Anyway, going to be welding a bit more, and I'll show you those later. And just a quick close-up of these tubes before I weld them. Well, I've got it welded up as about as good as it's going to get. Some of my welds aren't half bad. Others are just downright ugly. And of course, it's a little difficult to get in there with a wire brush. But that's more or less what they look like. Okay, I decided to go ahead and put the straight casters under where the tanks will sit, and the swivels are up front. I'm just going to sort of barely TIG weld these in place. I've marked the edges where I will grind down to bare metal so that everything is nice and clean. And I'm probably just going to run a bead across here and across the front. Don't know how well you can see, I just barely got an edge here, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So I am, like I said, going to grind down to clean metal and then just TIG them across front and back, and that's all that's going to be holding them silly casters in place. Well, there I've got them ground. I don't know how well you can see the grinding there. Light's not real great unless I got my drop light. These, the rear ones, I'm just sort of more or less just eyeballing them to get them straight. I don't think that's too terribly off. And yeah, I'll clamp them down before I start welding them, but anyway. Okay, there they are, welded in place. They even still swivel, so I didn't arc any bearings. And as you can no doubt tell, those are some oogly welds, but being that most of my projects start off with old rusty metal, I'll probably never end up with nice clean welds, especially as long as I got that thing. But major thing, the most important thing is, ow, that's still warm, is that the welds hold. So let me flip it over, put the panels back in place, set the welders in place, and see if it falls apart. Well, there it is, pushed sort of in place with both welders on it and a tangle of leads. I've got it pushed up against the wall surrounding the tank. I still gotta make a brace for 2 tanks and figure out what I want to do with the panel that the tanks stand on, but you can see that there's plenty of room there. And I think that after I get it all together, I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And since they both happen to be blue, I found this, let's see, don't know if you can read that. Yeah, OSHA blue. This thing I've had, good grief. Well, there we go. If at first you don't succeed, get a bigger hammer. Anyway, I've had these cans forever and a day. I don't even know if they'll squirt. Oh, sorta, vaguely. Not quite as dark as I thought it'd be, but not too bad. Let me see, I got a hunk of scrap here. There we go. Try it on a block of wood, see how that looks. Not a terrible match. It's even reasonably close to the Miller blue. So now I got some paint. Very old and probably half rotten, but we're closer.